Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. Coming up, how Cheetos might be making you ugly.
Also, as a coworker who brings their child to work, the worst one, and more on the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot, Radio U.
This one came yesterday. Jake Paul has announced his next fight. It's going to be against one of the great boxers of all time, Mike Tyson. Saturday, July 20th, live from AT&T Stadium in Texas on Netflix.
Some big names.
Massive names. Mike Tyson, one of the top 5. If I ask anybody to name 5 boxers from history, he's one of them. He's on the Mount Rushmore. Then you have Jake Paul, one of the biggest names in just entertainment straight up in the United States right now. But you also think Mike Tyson's 58. Jake Paul's 27. It's kind of doesn't seem fair, does it?
Doesn't seem fair at all.
How does it make you feel when you see this announcement?
I mean, I hate it for many reasons. I've read comments, forums on this. A lot of people think Mike Tyson is going to win.
Yeah.
I think because his name's Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
This dude's almost 60 years old.
Uh-huh.
Do you think he has a chance to win?
I shouldn't have to pause that long. I don't think it's going to be fair. For one, I just don't think this is going to be a fight where there's any going into the fight, either side has any questions about who's going to win. You know what I'm saying? This isn't like, oh, I don't know. We're each going to try our best and see how it goes. There's some kind of agreement already, I feel. The outcome is predetermined. I feel like if it was a true fight, it still doesn't seem fair. It feels like Jake Paul would win. But Mike Tyson, his thing was always like, he can knock you out. And I feel like he could still have some of that power still at 58 years old. But at the same time, it doesn't matter how much power you have when you suffer from sciatica and sometimes have to use a wheelchair, which is Mike Tyson. So I don't think he's going to win.
Neither do I. I can't believe he's even going. Why would he even do this?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say how I feel when I see this announcement is mostly like sad, because it's like, why is Mike Tyson doing this? Obviously it's going to be a massive payday. One of the, possibly, and this is crazy to say with all the fights that he's done, one of the biggest paydays of his career, possibly of his entire life. But at the same time, it feels like with all those other massive paydays, he just wouldn't need to take this one, because it's just kind of sad and depressing that he's doing this.
His current net worth, Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
$10 million.
It feels like it should be higher.
He had a little reset in 2003.
Yeah.
Went through a lot of money.
Yeah. He went through a lot of money. He's lived a hard life. That's the thing. He's like, although he's a boxer and so he has all that talent, he also has boxed for like 50 years. And so he lived hard outside of that. So his body has experienced a lot of abuse for a 58-year-old.
But he's going to like triple his net worth with this.
Yeah.
I mean, even more than that.
Yeah. I also, though, another thing I feel when I see this announced, and see if you feel the same, as much as I hate it, I feel a little FOMO. It feels like the kind of thing, like, I don't want to not watch this.
You want to watch,
that's
don't
why
you?
everybody criticizing it, there's definitely an aspect of like, you don't want to miss this because you don't know. Even though I feel like the outcome is predetermined, I still kind of want to know what happens. I don't want to miss something cool, because it's not just going to be boring, right? It's not going to be boring.
No, it won't be boring.
But it's coming
Hopefully.
up. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, July 20th on Netflix.
Add a little Riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Amazing video here. A man stripped down naked.
Whoa. You said video?
Yeah. It's blurred out. I got a man stripped down naked on the roof of a Burger King. He's taking a little bath in one of the water tanks on top of a Burger King, and he was doing it fully nude.
And this is something that we are Obviously, he's going to jail.
I don't know is it a crime to be nude on the roof of a Burger King?
It absolutely is.
In the country of Colombia where this took place, by the way.
This is a good sign for children.
Uh-huh.
Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
I like how it was in broad daylight. You might think this type of thing would occur possibly in the evening under the cover of darkness, but no, this man in the middle of the day, probably during the lunch rush at Burger King, just hopped on top of the roof naked and got in one of those water tanks.
And then you wonder many questions.
Uh-huh.
What were the workers' reaction to this? Do they immediately call the cops? Someone's on our roof taking a bath. What do the police say to that?
I don't know if the workers were any the wiser, because if you were working at Burger King, would you be paying attention to what's going on the roof?
But don't you think somebody...
Maybe this was a worker.
Don't you think somebody would be going through the drive-thru like, hey,
yeah,
somebody's on your roof as you're ordering. Also, I'd like a Junior Whopper.
Would you pull away if you saw this guy naked on the roof of the Burger King? Would you be like, I'm going somewhere else for lunch today? Or maybe I just kind of lost my appetite even.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I would. There's no way I'm staying at that Burger King.
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere else.
You got to wonder, where does that water go? That water that he's naked in.
Oh,
no. It does say that the rooftop water tank was in no way involved with the restaurant's day-to-day.
I'm sure it is.
Day-to-day food processes.
Yep.
Also, the Burger King is now temporarily closed. But
kind of stinks for them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't ask this man to take a bath on their roof.
No, but now the workers, you have to assume, get like a paid day off, right?
No.
Actually, no, because they got to clean up. They got to like now scrub everything super clean.
They're working extra hours.
Everything.
Thanks to this guy.
Uh-huh. But can you blame this guy?
Yes.
He just wanted to take you've got a hot tub. You can't tell me that you're always fully clothed when you get in there. And what's the only thing that can make that better? That hot tub better? One of the best things about Burger King, the smell. And so that's what this guy, he smelled the smell. He's just like, I want a full immersive experience. And so he fully immersed himself naked on the roof of a Burger King in one of their water tanks.
Is the story as bad if he has swim trunks on?
Not as bad.
Not nearly as
Even
bad,
though
right?
it's still like the same parts are still touching the same water. So it doesn't make much of a difference. It shouldn't, but it definitely does.
The public nudity on a roof is crazy.
Yeah. Well, I still actually don't have an answer of what happened to the guy, but I do have an answer of what happened to the Burger King. It's temporarily closed. Something tells me that might be a very long temporarily.
Yeah.
Oh, hi there.
This worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
It's time for Fired or Hired on the Riot. Y'all decide if this coworker is in the wrong. This one here, per usual, a doozy.
Let's hear it.
We have a coworker today that brings her kid to the office every day. Her 3-year-old daughter always comes with her. She said it wouldn't be a big deal if the daughter was quiet and minded her business. However, she is not. She runs up and down the hall yelling while I have clients in my office. I'm frequently asked if the babysitter was not available, and I have nothing to respond with other than nope, she just doesn't have one. This leaves it difficult for my clients to pay attention to what I'm asking them, and me having difficulty understanding what the clients are saying when she runs past. This is a place where seniors who are low income and need assistance desperately come. This isn't a place where parents get assistance with kids. Yet it seems like we're in a daycare center for her daughter. She said even sometimes this kid will bust into my office with or without clients in it because she wants attention. The mother is not on top of the child's behavior. She feels as if the kid should not be there. She said, we are a very small office, and I know for certain if I raise a complaint to the board, the boss will know without a doubt that it was me that said it, and she feels she may get in trouble for questioning why the kid is there.
What is the boss's child?
It is not the boss's child, but she does put in the boss in question is her niece, or the person in question is her niece's best friend of the boss. So there's a little relationship there. A lot to unpack.
This is tough. Fired or hired. What would you do here Coworker bringing a child to the office.
Can you imagine if we just had children running
rampant.
around
Yeah.
the studio, the rooms alongside of us?
Uh-huh.
How would I be able to focus and do this difficult job?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry to children. I don't know if they would fit in here in the RadioU building very well, but what do you do here? 8772 RadioU. We need people to chime in with your advice for this coworker that's bringing their child into work and distracting everybody else, it seems. We'll see what people are saying. I need to think about this.
Oh, hi there.
This worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
RadioU.
Hired or fired? We've got a coworker that's upset that one of their coworkers keeps bringing in their 3-year-old child to work and not keeping the child under control. Would be one thing, I suppose, if the child was kind of behaved or cordoned off in some area. But in this case, running rampant, doesn't know what to do. People chiming in with their thoughts. Isaiah, Virginia says, highly inappropriate, especially since the kid doesn't behave. Not sure if she would accomplish it, but fired if she doesn't get kid under control or in proper care.
Yeah, you got to get the kid under control. I mean, there's no question. But how do you control a 3-year-old?
Yeah. There should be like an area of the building that's like the daycare room for this child. If you're going to keep accommodating this worker, right?
Well, this seems like a small business.
Yeah,
from what I'm gathering.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where you would maybe put the child.
Yeah, because a
Sounds crazy.
big business wouldn't allow this.
Yeah, or the business would be so big that there would be an area.
Yeah, it's actually something they pre-planned for. Mark says, I'd formulate some sort of plan to have my client write a letter that the kid bothered them while conducting business.
Now that's good.
Or have a friend or family member write it because they will know your handwriting.
Very smart.
Clever.
I like that, Mark.
I feel like trying to talk a client into writing a complaint for you, though.
Tough.
That's fraught with danger. All of a sudden, you're going to seem like the person that hates kids. And even though the clients might be a little frustrated by it, you just don't know. Unless they're complaining to you, I feel like you don't know how they're going to react to you being like, hey, can you do me a favor? You know, there's that annoying child that runs around here. Can you complain about them for me?
You need to get not one of your family members, the people know, one of your friends to come in and schedule a fake appointment with you. And then you can have them complain.
Yeah.
You can orchestrate that.
You could also maybe do this and organize kind of like and this is really like galaxy brain kind of planning. Organize a little bit of like a Yelp review blitz where you get all of a sudden some 1-star reviews start piling up. Couldn't complete my appointment because there was a 3-year-old child running around for some reason. Start to do that. Maybe try to organize that, see how that goes.
D has a good one here.
Okay.
I like this.
Yeah.
She says if there's nothing she can do, she should try to have some quiet, age-appropriate activities like coloring pages or something that you could hand the kid to be able to keep them occupied.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea. She said also try to keep your door locked if possible.
That's an idea. It does feel... It's tough because anytime you bring kids in, especially your small business, you want to be accommodating, right? But it's starting to it's getting in the way of business here. And it clearly sounds like, and taking care of a kid all day is tough. It sounds like this mom trying to work and take care of this kid all day at the office. Maybe the mom should be working from home. Is that a possibility?
Is that an option?
Yeah. Obviously, you're the coworker. You're not in charge of that. But could that be another solutions-oriented situation there?
Tim says, let the kids help out.
The 3-year-old.
Give the 3-year-old a job.
Yeah, that's right. If they're going to be there, put them to work.
Yeah, 3 years old, that's so young.
Yeah.
You can't even reason with the child.
That's like, what do they say? The terrible twos, right? 3 can't be a whole lot better than. It's not like it's an age where you can be like, hey, chill out, kid.
Bree says, I mean, is she a good worker, though? Did anyone ask her if she needs help paying for babysitter before we just kick a woman out of her job who clearly needs help? I feel like steps can be taken to resolve the issue.
Pay her more.
Pay her more. Give her
Or pay
a raise.
for a baby. Yeah, give her a raise.
Or she needs to talk to the boss. Or people need to talk to the boss and be like, hey, can we do something about this child? I feel like we'd make more money here. I'd be more productive if you got this baby out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can't just not say anything because you're afraid the boss is going to be mad at you, because you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It doesn't mean that the woman shouldn't be allowed to bring her child in to work, but you're not wrong if it's getting in the way of you and other people doing work, and the clients are upset about it. So
Tim says have the kid help clean up some stuff. And Laura says a three-nager is the technical term, I believe. Tough age. That's the...
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
She said, one of the things she said, Isaiah, was that there are no good and bad foods. Food is not moral. I like that.
I did like that too.
But I have a study here that finds that while there are no good and bad foods, there are attractive foods and ugly foods. And I'm not talking about how the food looks. I'm talking about how you look when you eat it. There's a new study from France that found that people who ate more heavily processed meals, aka junk food, were rated less attractive by the opposite sex. The more Cheetos you eat, the uglier you are.
Well, that's bad news for you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's a good thing I'm already married. It showed that that chronic consumption, this is from the University of Montpellier in France, higher consumption of high glycemic foods, those which rapidly affect your blood sugar, showed an association with lower attractiveness ratings regardless of a person's BMI and age. In other words, eating more highly processed food goods like pastries, cookies, and chips may lead to others seeing you as ugly.
Now, my question is it because of what these foods will do to you? Or the actual act of people seeing you eat these foods?
No, it's they weren't showing people pictures of you eating the food. They were just showing people pictures of what you look like.
Okay, well, that makes sense then.
Yeah, so the foods that you eat, it's not you eating Cheetos that's making you ugly. Well, it's not you with a bag of Cheetos that's making you ugly. It's you once you finish the bag of Cheetos.
What do you look like then?
Yeah.
You look bloated.
Good.
I'll tell you that. You look bloated.
And I hate to do this. I hate that I'm using Cheetos as a example because that hits me right at home. But it's true. It's true. This stuff, if you are ugly, blame the junk food.
I'll give you a rundown here. This is personal experience. As I was just a couple months ago, I was trying to gain a bunch of weight, right?
Yeah.
Because I was bulking. And now I've went into the cutting phase. The first week I started cutting, I changed my whole diet, of course. Before I was eating whatever I wanted as much as I could.
Yeah.
I was constantly bloated. It was insane. I had never been like that in my life. I was bloated so frequently. And I hated it. And I started to question, maybe my stomach just looks this way. Maybe this is just how I look. And then once I started cutting, the first week, I started eating good food.
Yeah.
Bloating, gone. Stomach looked way better. Immediately. I mean, the first day.
Yeah.
No bloating anymore.
You've been much more attractive ever since.
You think so? Can you tell the difference?
I can definitely tell.
The bloating gone.
Oh, yeah. Much less inflated. And
less acne from the sugar.
Yeah,
I'm not fat.
You've got a glow about you.
My skin, your skin, they say it also, eating healthier foods.
It makes you greasy, eating all the grease.
It does. You get that nice glow on your skin again. And that twinkle in your eye, maybe.
So people can sense that. Even if they don't see you eating unhealthy, they can tell that you eat unhealthy subconsciously, and it's making you. So if you're having trouble getting a date, it might be because you're eating too many. Let's say something else other than Cheetos. Too many burgers.
Yeah, ever since you started eating healthier, you stopped doing that weird walk thing you were doing. That made you look unattractive.
I don't think they tested for that.
What, the walk?
Yeah.
The Hudson Walk?
This was just pictures.
Everybody was talking about the Hudson
Yeah.
Walk, and now you're not doing it anymore.
All right. That's good news. It's just because I cut out the Cheetos.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.